Hello and welcome to day 89 of our Chronological Bible in a Year reading. We finished Joshua yesterday, and today we have the book of Judges we're getting into. And as you know, when we have a new book, we look at the Hebrew word and translation. So Judges in Hebrew is Shaphatim, and the translation is literally Judges. So, today we have Judges 1 and 2. The book of Judges, chapter 1. And it came to be after the death of Yehoshua that the children of Israel asked Yahuwah, saying, Who of us should go up first against the Canaanites to fight against them? And Yahuwah said, Yehudah goes up. See, I have given the land into his hand. And Yehudah said to Shimon his brother, Come up with me into my allotment, and let us fight against the Canaanites. And I myself shall also go with you into your allotment. So Shimon went with him. And Yehudah went up, and Yahuwah gave the Canaanites and the Perizzites into their hand. And they smote 10,000 men at Bezek. And they found Adoni-Bezek in Bezek, and fought against him, and smote the Canaanites and the Perizzites. But Adoni-Bezek fled, and they pursued him, and caught him, and cut off his thumbs and big toes. And Adoni-Bezek said, 70 sovereigns with their thumbs and big toes cut off used to gather under my table. As I have done, so Elohim has repaid me. And they brought him to Jerusalem, and he died there. And the children of Yehudah fought against Jerusalem, and captured it, and smote it with the edge of the sword, and lit the city on fire. And afterward the children of Yehudah went down to fight against the Canaanites who dwelt in the mountains, in the Negeb and in the low country. And Yehudah went against the Canaanites who dwelt in Hebron. Now the name of Hebron was formerly Kiriath Arba. And they smote Sheshai, and Ahiman, and Talmai. And from there they went against the inhabitants of Debir, and the name of Debir was formerly Kiriath Sepher. And Caleb said, He who smites Kiriath Sepher and shall capture it, to him I shall give my daughter Axa as wife. And Othniel, son of Kenaz, Caleb's younger brother, captured it, and he gave him his daughter Axa as wife. And it came to be, when she came in, that she urged him to ask her father for a field. And when she got off from her donkey, Caleb said to her, What is the matter? And she said to him, Give me a barakah, which means give me a blessing. Since you have given me land in the Negeb, give me also springs of water. So Caleb gave her the upper springs and the lower springs. And the children of the Canaanite, the father-in-law of Moshe, went up from Ir-Hatamarim with the children of Yehudah into the wilderness of Yehudah, which is in the south of Arad. And they went and dwelt among the people. And Yehudah went with Shimon his brother, and they smote the Canaanites who inhabited Sephath, and put it under the ban. So the name of the city was called Hormah. And Yehudah captured Azah and its border, and Ashkelon with its border, and Ekron and its border. And Yahuwah was with Yehudah, and they took possession of the mountains, but they were unable to drive out the inhabitants of the plain, because they had chariots of iron. And they gave Hebron to Caleb, as Moshe had said, and he drove out from there the 3 sons of Anak. However, the children of Benjamin did not drive out the Jebusites who inhabited Jerusalem, so the Jebusites have dwelt with the children of Benjamin in Jerusalem to this day. And the house of Joseph also went up against Beth-el, and Yahuwah was with them. And the house of Joseph sent men to spy out Beth-el. Now the name of that city was formerly Luz. And the watchmen saw a man coming out of the city, and they said to him, Please show us the entrance to the city, and we shall show you kindness. So he showed them the entrance to the city, and they smote the city with the edge of the sword. But the man and all his clan they let go. And the man went to the land of the Hittites, and built a city, and called its name Luz, which is its name to this day. And Manasseh did not dispossess Beth-shean and its villages, nor Ta'anak and its villages, nor the inhabitants of Dor and its villages, nor the inhabitants of Yibleam and its villages, nor the inhabitants of Megiddo and its villages, for the Canaanites desired to dwell in that land. And it came to be, when Yisrael was strong, they put the Canaanites into compulsory labor, but did not completely drive them out. Neither did Ephraim drive out the Canaanites who dwelt in Gezer, so the Canaanites dwelt in their midst in Gezer. Neither did Zebulun drive out the inhabitants of Kitron, or the inhabitants of Nahalal, So the Canaanites dwelt in their midst and became compulsory labor. Neither did Asher drive out the inhabitants of Acco, nor the inhabitants of Sidon, nor of Alab, nor of Azkib, or Akzib, mix those up, nor of Helba, nor of Aphik, nor of Rehob. So the Asherites dwelt in the midst of the Canaanites, the inhabitants of the land, because they did not drive them out. Neither did Naphtali drive out the inhabitants of Beth-Shemesh, nor the inhabitants of Beth-Anath, but they dwelt among the Canaanites and the inhabitants of the land. And the inhabitants of Beth-Shemesh and of Beth-Anath became compulsory labor for them. And the Amorites pressed the children of Dan into the mountains, for they would not allow them to come down to the valley. And the Amorites desired to dwell in Mount Herez, in Ayalon, and in Shaalbim. But when the hand of the house of Joseph became stronger, they became compulsory labor. And the border of the Amorites was from the ascent of Akrabim, from Selah and upward. In chapter 2. And the messenger of Yahuwah came up from Gilgal to Bochum, and said, I led you up from Mitzrayim, which is Egypt, and brought you to the land of which I swore to your fathers. And I said, I do not break my covenant with you. And as for you, do not make a covenant with the inhabitants of this land. Break down their altars. But you have not obeyed my voice. What is this you have done? Therefore I also said, I am not driving them out before you, and they shall be adversaries to you, and their mighty ones shall be a snare to you. And it came to be, when the messenger of Yahuwah spoke these words to all the children of Israel, that the people lifted up their voice and wept. So they called the name of that place Bochum, and slaughtered there to Yahuwah. Then Yehoshua dismissed the people, and the children of Israel went each to his own inheritance to possess the land. And the people served Yahuwah all the days of Yehoshua, and all the days of the elders who outlived Yehoshua, who had seen all the great works of Yahuwah which he had done for Israel. And Yehoshua, son of Nun, the servant of Yahuwah, died 110 years old. And they buried him within the border of his inheritance at Timnath-Herez, in the mountains of Ephraim, on the north side of Mount Gaash. And all that generation were likewise gathered to their fathers, and another generation arose after them, who did not know Yahuwah, nor the work which he had done for Israel. And then the children of Israel did evil in the eyes of Yahuwah, and served the Baals, and forsook Yahuwah Elohim of their fathers, who had brought them out of the land of Mitzrayim, and went after other mighty ones, of the mighty ones of the people who were all around them, and they bowed down to them and provoked Yahuwah. So they forsook Yahuwah, and served Baal and the Ashtoreths, or Baal. A lot of people have different pronunciations. And the displeasure of Yahuwah burned against Israel. Therefore he gave them into the hands of the plunderers who despoiled them. Excuse me. And he sold them into the hands of their enemies all around, and they were unable to stand before their enemies any longer. Wherever they went out, the hand of Yahuwah was against them for evil, as Yahuwah had spoken, and as Yahuwah had sworn to them, and they were distressed greatly. Then Yahuwah raised up rulers who saved them from the hand of those who plundered them. However, they did not listen to their rulers either, but went whoring after other mighty ones and bowed down to them. They soon turned aside from the way in which their fathers walked, and obeying the commands of Yahuwah, they did not do so. And when Yahuwah raised up rulers for them, Yahuwah was with the ruler and saved them from the hand of their enemies all the days of their ruler. For Yahuwah had compassion on their groaning because of those who oppressed them and crushed them. And it came to be, when the ruler was dead, that they would turn back and do more corruptly than their fathers, to go after other mighty ones, to serve them and bow down to them. They did not refrain from their practices and from their stubborn way. And the displeasure of Yahuwah burned against Israel, and he said, Because this nation has transgressed my covenant that I commanded their fathers, and has not obeyed my voice, I also shall no longer drive out before them any of the nations which Yehoshua left when he died, in order to try Israel by them, whether they would guard the way of Yahuwah to walk in them as their fathers guarded them, or not. So Yahuwah left those nations without driving them out at once, and did not give them into the hand of Yehoshua. And that concludes our reading for today. As always, thanks for joining. Hope you're reading along. And peace and blessings and love to you. See you in the next one.